Hi guys, welcome to my video and my YouTube channel. My name is Ronnie and today we're going to talk about my new game. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee and some popcorn and let's begin. So I want to make a game that reminds me of many of the old games like Space Invaders or Asteroids or Defenders, Centipede, those kind of games. But I want to make a modern and advanced version of those type of games. I started with having this idea about a cannon standing on the floor in the bottom of the screen, and then have meteors and aliens and spaceships and everything come down from the top, just like in Space Invaders. And you control this cannon around. It's an auto shooter. You just have to place it correctly. And then the idea was that you could set multiple new towers to help defend your base at the bottom. Right? Super simple. So I guess this is what you call a prototype. And I was trying different things out. Another prototype I tried out was having the cannon in the center of the screen, and then have like meteors coming into the cannon from every direction, right? And the cannon was auto firing, and the idea was that when the cannon was gaining levels, you were, like Rogue-lite game, you're selecting between 3 upgrades or new weapons, and then you just watch this cannon turn into a bullet master hill. And that was kind of the first idea that really resonated with me. I wanted to try and make a simple game this time. I want to try and make one of these idle type games where where the player doesn't do a lot. He's just watching what happens on screen, and then he takes some decisions during the gameplay when the cannon levels up, and then he just watches what happens next and see if he can make the right choices to make this cannon survive. And when you're trying to make a game like this, it becomes super boring really fast unless you have like 30 different weapons and abilities and upgrades and things like that. When you don't have all that in the beginning, it's just extremely boring to play, to be honest. Another expanded prototype here was to try and do something that the player could do while this cannon was firing. So got the idea of the small spaceship. I mean, it's not a new idea, many games have this, but I created this little circular spaceship thing that would fly around and you could shoot enemies too, and you would have your base in the center, which was also shooting enemies. And then with your little spaceship, you are flying around picking up these small pickups which the enemies were dropping, like vampire survivors. And it instantly made the game a lot more fun when testing out. I wasn't just sitting there looking at something firing, so just adding this spaceship changed the game completely. And that kind of created the main idea for the whole game. So the idea is that you have this core in the center of the screen, and this one is the one that turns into this bullet heaven massive destruction force that is just exploding everything. Bullets flying everywhere. This is the main damage output in this game. That is your core, and you need to level that up. Then you have the small spaceship. It can also shoot, it can also be upgraded, it can also change weapons. But the main function of this spaceship is to help defend the core and to pick up all these drops all the enemies are dropping. So you can upgrade your spaceship and you can upgrade your core. So I was playing around with the idea of turning this into a Vampire Survivors clone, where you end up standing in the middle because you can't move because there's so many enemies, and you're just hoping that you give enough damage out to keep everything away from the core. But that idea kind of worked against the player ship, which is a very nimble ship that you need to fly around, pick up stuff, protect the core, right? So if you have like 200 enemies coming in, there's not a lot of room for the spaceship to move around. And then it becomes that you're just standing in the middle, looking passively at everything firing off, which is a little boring, I think. So for the spaceship to be able to move around, I need a lot less enemies. And I can make those enemies more interesting in different ways. So it's not just numbers, it's enemies that does different things. And again, I tried spawning 500 enemies just to see how it would feel. And the feeling I got was like 5 frames per second in Unreal, right? So you apparently in Unreal you need to be some kind of rocket science to be able to make 500 enemies work. You can't do it the traditional way. You need to do, there's some custom systems, and I don't know math, I don't get it, and I can't get it to work. So that Vampire Survivors idea, that is scratched. And also guys, I want to thank everyone who has commented on this last video I made last week. It gave me a lot of really good constructive feedback on why my indie game Cyber Rats did not reach my expectations, right? A lot of awesome, great, constructive comments on that video, and I'm super thankful for that, and it's super nice to see. And I will thank everyone who commented and watched that video. One of the things that kept popping up from that video was the different genres I was trying to mix, the horror and the roguelike, which didn't work. I didn't do enough roguelike and I didn't do enough horror, so it ended up in nowhere. And I'm already feeling I'm about to do the same for this game, guys, so I kind of need your comments also on this video. I'm trying to make a more Zen-like, lean-back action game here. You can play this with one hand, so the ship is shooting by itself, the core is shooting by itself. All you do is move the ship around, go to the thing you want to shoot, go to the thing you want to pick up. Select some choices when you gain levels to select new weapons. It's easy guys, easy to play. One hand. So that is the lean back, Zen-like experience I want to try and make here. And at the same time, I also want some intense action going on. It's the direct opposite of the lean back Zen mode I also want to make here. So I already feel like I'm about to go down the same rabbit hole as before and end up in the same place, which is in between two genres and doesn't really appeal to any of these genres. We'll see when the game gets further, when we get upgrades, what type of game it will end up being, but I need to lean against one or the other. I can't have both, so I need to figure that out as I go.
Get ready. Upgrade. 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 Core destroyed.
What can I do to make this game stand out from the oversaturated Vampire Survivors incremental market right now? There's so many games, it's nuts. So the first thing is the core in the center of the screen. You have to protect this one. And then you have your spaceship. That is one thing that kind of makes it a little more unique than the other games. Then we have the synthwave, Tron, wireframe, 80s look, right, with these glowing wireframes like Tron, and combining this with the particle effects, explosions, other things I can dream up, which makes this look like you're inside a pinball machine that's about to explode, right? That's the feeling I want when you look at this game. Then we have the space casino, the slot machine, all these gems that you collect with your spaceship in the action part of the game. All these gems you'll be able to put into this slot machine in the space casino, and it kind of gives itself what it is, right? You come into this pickle machine, all these gems are falling down and they are landing in one of these 5 spinners below, which will increase the spinner speed, and it will also increase the rarity of the drops, of the reward you get from these spinners. You get 5 rewards if you get all wheels going. These rewards will be weapons and upgrades for your core and for the ship. They all start as gray common rewards, and the more gems you put down, every 5th gem that lands in a spinner will upgrade one of these buttons on the spinner to a rare, a green one. The more gems you put in, the more of these buttons will light up in different rarities. If there's a rare button that gets selected to be upgraded, then it becomes an epic button. And from epic, it becomes legendary. So the more gems you have, the better chance of better loot you will get. And guys, I'm going all in on the dopamine ludomaniac psychology of people's minds, right? This space casino needs to be so insanely satisfying that people cannot stop putting gems in it. And the rewards you get from this space casino will be your new starting gear when you start a new run. If your ship has died, you're back to zero again. Then you put your coins into this slot machine and you will get awesome starting gear. So you'll start off super strong. And of course, if you get a few legendary rewards too, then those legendaries will carry you very fast through the beginning of the run. There will also be a shop in the game. I mean, not for real money, a shop where you can buy gear and upgrades for your ship for money, in-game money that you earn by killing enemies. So we have gems, we have money. Some of these gems can also be turned into money in the slot machine. But let's talk about that further down the road. I also already created the Steam page for the game. It's not official. It will be as soon as I get a trailer that shows off something awesome so that people can wishlist the game. But I think the Steam page is very important to start off very early because it forces you to think about some specific things like the super short description of your game. What is your game? If you can only explain it in 2 sentences, right? You also have the long description to explain more in-depth stuff, and it just makes you think more about your game. And then we have, you know, the cover art, all the capsule art on Steam. It needs to look freaking badass, right? And starting the Steam page early will start that process also, so it's not something that you kind of forgot and then you need to spend a week later on when everything is on fire to create the art for the Steam page. So guys, I think making a Steam page early is super important, but I don't think you should release it until you have something awesome to show. Otherwise people just say, oh, okay, and then move on, right? You need to have something that grabs people's attention like a badass trailer. So guys, there you have it. This is my new game, Meteor Rush. You defend the core, you upgrade your ship, you upgrade the core, you spend currencies inside this space casino that is going completely nuts and will reward you with awesome legendary loot to begin your next run with. I think it's super awesome. It's already fun to play. So I'm super excited about this game and I can't wait to show you more during the process of making this game. And that's it guys. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.